Hi there guys, so it has been reported that Frank Warren will have a press conference on Friday to confirm one of the most anticipated fights to be held in the UK in recent years. Now, we are given to believe that this will be Joyce versus Daniel Dubois. At least I hope that is what it is, because if they are building our hopes up and it isn't that one, then it's going to be kind of disappointing, so hopefully that's the one he is making. Now, first of all, he's going to have to be really careful when he makes this fight, because you have Anthony Joshua coming back probably, I would imagine, May time, maybe early June. So he can't do it then because you cannot compete with Anthony Joshua, especially in the UK. So it won't be within a month of that fight. So I would imagine it will be either late March, that is provided Usyk doesn't fight Derek Chisora, which seems like it's going to go ahead. So I don't know when Frank Warren is planning to have this fight, but it will be a great fight, Daniel Dubois versus Joyce. That is a fight that would captivate the British public because we just want to know where they are. Where is Daniel Dubois? Where is Joyce? Is Joyce good enough to go on and win a world title? Is Daniel Dubois good enough to move up the ranks and fight Joyce? Because Daniel Dubois, I mean, his only real good performance was against Nathan Gorman, in my opinion. I mean, against a higher level opposition. He hasn't really been tested. The Larty fight did test him, but it just wasn't against a high level opponent. And we've been waiting to see Daniel Dubois step up. And now is the opportunity against Joyce. Now, obviously, Joyce would represent the biggest challenge in Daniel Dubois' short career, and it would be a huge step up. Now, Joyce is often considered a slow fighter. Maybe he doesn't punch as hard as he seems, but Joyce's pressure is his biggest asset. He is always right there in front of his opponent, and if speed can beat him like many believe it will, then the Bryant Jennings fight kind of puts that to bed, because Bryant Jennings is a fast fighter, he's a good mover as well, but Joyce navigated the ring perfectly, kept his positioning, and applied that pressure throughout the full 12 rounds. Now, obviously, the one thing that does stand out is that body shot early on in the fight that really made Joyce wince. That is something that Daniel Dubois and many Joyce opponents in the future will look to do. Work to the body and look for that weakness, because I don't think anyone's really going to knock him out by taking it upstairs. Joyce has a granite jaw, and I don't think anyone is going to hurt him too much, other than the big guys like Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, obviously. But Joyce has proven that he has a very tough chin. But obviously, Daniel Dubois does punch very, very hard, so it would be interesting to see how he holds up to Daniel Dubois' power. And likewise, Joyce does punch quite hard, and I think it's quite deceiving. I think he's a lot faster and a lot more powerful than it looks when you see him from outside of the ring. I would imagine being in there with Joyce is a completely different prospect to watching him. It looks like he's maybe easy to out-punch, maybe easy to outwork and out-maneuver, offer him angles and he will struggle, but I think being in there with him would be completely different. I think that his pressure and punch dexterity is his biggest weapons and his biggest assets, and that is why he is able to outbox and beat people who maybe are a little bit faster than him. And in the fight with Daniel Dubois, I believe that the styles would match perfectly. I think they are both at the same stage in their career. Obviously, they are both different ages. Joyce is 34. Daniel Dubois is 22. Daniel Dubois has probably about 6 years before he is even at his best, like proper peak heavyweight time. Whereas Joyce is in that at the moment. He is at the peak, and I don't think he's going to get much better than he is now. Obviously, there will be a few things that Joyce does do better in the future as he learns to adjust to the pro game. But other than that, Joyce is the complete fighter that he is going to be, whereas Daniel Dubois is still on the way up, because as I said, he is only 22 years old. But despite that, they are both at a similar point in their careers where Daniel Dubois needs to step up, and so does Joyce. Now, obviously, Joyce's fight against Bryant Jennings is probably the best name on his record, and that was a good win at probably fringe world level, whereas this fight would be more British level, European level. I think actually it might be for the European title. So this fight will be contested at a European level, not a world level. But I believe that maybe if they had a few more fights behind them, it would be a world level fight. But I mean, I don't want to see any more fights. I want to see them in together. I don't want to see either of them have a few more fights just so they are ready for each other. They are ready for each other now. It's time to put them in together. And I hope that is the fight that Frank Warren is going to announce on Friday. That remains to be seen, but I hope that is the one. Guys, what are your thoughts on this? Frank Warren will be announcing a huge fight that will be remembered for years on Friday. What do you think it will be? I believe it will be this one, and the general consensus is it's going to be Joyce versus Daniel Dubois. Guys, what are your thoughts? Drop them in the comments below, click the thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.